Here are the methods of environmental scanning. Number one is the opinion leader surveys. This method of environmental scanning provide insights from influential individuals who hold a significant role in shaping public opinion, behavior, or trends in a particular industry or community, and is very useful for gathering estimates, expectations, and forecasts of environmental changes, controllability, and probability of the occurrence, interactive effects, and priorities. So, who are the opinion leaders? These are the individuals who have the ability to influence the attitudes, opinions, and behaviors of others due to their expertise, credibility, or leadership in within a particular area. It can be experts, celebrities, local community leaders, activists, or even social media influencers. These individuals often serve as intermediaries between organizations and the general public to help shape their perceptions, drive awareness, influence decision making processes. So, the media analysis is the systematic study of media content to identify the trends, attitudes, and public perception. This focuses on one specific area, the media landscape. This can include sites, news articles, investigative features, columns, letters to the editor, radio broadcasts, even social media. It is a technique which aims at describing with optimum objectivity, precision, and generality what is said on a given subject in a given place at a given time. It involves continuous analysis of news content in the mass media. By analyzing media coverage, an organization can gauge how issues are being discussed, how the public is reacting, and what topics are gaining or losing prominence. Number three, public opinion surveys. It's designed to measure feedback from a general population regarding a topic or a series of topics. And it can be utilized to assess changes and trends in stakeholders' perspectives and attitudes through public opinion polls. Public opinion surveys are powerful and actually commonly used in environmental scanning and social marketing because they help organizations or policymakers understand the attitudes and perceptions of or the needs of a target audience. Number four is the analysis of legislative trends. It involves examining current and upcoming legislation that could influence the issue or behavior targeted by a social marketing campaign. The data comes from a survey procedure used with politicians and public figures. It helps determine the predisposition of elected officials to vote one way or another on a particular issue. Understanding legislative trends help us anticipate the impact of laws and regulations on public behaviors and advocate for policy changes that could enhance campaign effectiveness. We can identify relevant legislation, the current laws. We can review existing laws related to the social issue that your campaign or our campaign targets. Um, we can review proposed legislation. We can investigate bills or policies that are currently being debated in the legislative system because this may provide opportunities for the campaign. Next one is the CAP RRA, Knowledge Attitude Practice Rapid Rural Appraisal. This involves determining the knowledge, attitudes, and practices of stakeholders about a particular issue through a quantitative research technique. A CAP survey is meant to be a representative survey of a target population and aims to elicit what is known, believed, and done. In the context of the topic of interest, information is collected using a semi structured, more usually, structured questionnaires that are self administered or administered by the interviewers. The purpose of CAP is to identify gaps in the knowledge that could be addressed in a campaign, to understand the attitudes that may promote or hinder behavior change, and to assess current practices and the barriers preventing people from engaging in desired behaviors. Next one is the rapid rural appraisal. According to the FAO, RRA is an activity carried out by a group of people from different professional fields or disciplines, which usually aim to learn about a particular topic, area, situation, group of people, or whatever else is of concern to those organizing the RRA. It's usually collecting information by talking directly to the people on the ground and uses a set of guidelines on how to approach the collection of information, learning from that information and involvement of local people in its interpretation and presentation. It uses a set of tools. This consists of exercises and techniques for collecting information, and of course, simulating interaction with community members and methods for quickly analyzing and reporting findings and suggesting appropriate actions. The CAP survey deals with the quantitative side of it, and the rapid rural appraisal is the qualitative side of it. It's very useful in obtaining in depth insights into local context and cultural dynamics, especially when time and resources are limited, because it provides information about several factors that influence behavior and local practices, traditions, and customs that can affect the adoption of new ideas and practices. So the KAP or CAP RRA approach combines both the methods. It combines the structured quantitative aspect of CAP surveys with the more qualitative context specific insights gathered through RRA. And this approach is very nice because we get to have a broader understanding of the community knowledge, attitude, and practices, and a deeper understanding on cultural factors and local issues that influence behaviors. Now we go through the three commonly used methods. This is the scenario construction method, SWOT analysis, and issue identification and analysis. So the scenario construction method is, I believe, very good for the overthinkers. It is a process of building scenarios, comparing them, and evaluating their expected consequences. It involves creating detailed and plausible future scenarios to help organizations anticipate possible challenges, opportunities, and uncertainties in the environment. This helps organizations think about future developments, understand risk, and explore alternative paths for action. So here we analyze the or we make the best case scenarios, the worst case scenario, the baseline scenario, the best case scenario where everything goes right, the worst case scenario where significant challenges arise that could lead to potential failure or significant disruptions, the baseline scenario, which is the most likely scenario based on current trends and assumptions, and the alternative or wild card scenario, which is unlikely but impactful events that could drastically change the direction of the campaign. The SWOT analysis, all of us, maybe, or most of us, are already familiar with this, stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. It guides us to identify the organization's strength as well as broader opportunities and threats, developing a fuller awareness of the situation, which helps both strategic planning and decision making. It is originally developed for business and industry, but is equally useful in the work of, for example, community health, development, education, and even for our personal growth. The last one is the issue identification and analysis. This is employed to determine debatable points affecting social marketing program and identifying influence groups for or against it. It's a process of weighing our expertise, capacity, and experience against the issue of complexity. In other words, we need to make sure that the issue we face may be solved with resources that we would be able to mobilize. And another important thing is that we need to see that the path for a solution does exist and there are practical opportunities to make changes needed. Finally, a need to evaluate related risks to make sure that they are manageable. And that's it for the social marketing environment and how we analyze it through various methods. For my discussion questions, number one, in your opinion, which social, political, or economic factors do you think are most impactful in shaping today's social marketing strategies? Number two, have you ever been involved in a social marketing campaign? How did you assess the environment around the campaign? And number three, how do you see mapping techniques evolving in the future with the rise of new technologies? Thank you very much. These are my references. And if you have listened and tuned in until this point, thank you very much.